What's going on, guys? My name is Aaron and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is my 2013 Mark 6 Golf R, and it's slammed, wrapped, got all the fixings on it, but today I'm going to be blind reacting to some questions that you guys asked me last week on my Instagram story, and I have not peeked at them, so this is going to be a totally blind reaction and answering those questions for you guys. Now, hopefully you can't hear the fan down there. It's insanely hot in this garage. Alright, first question. You should sign up for a clean culture to bitch, lol. Honestly, though, that's not a bad idea. My relationship with clean culture is kind of iffy at the moment. I actually had clean culture reach out to me, and they gave me tickets to come out and film the Dallas event. And that's where I met Evan Shanks, and I met Crispy Media, and it was a really fun time, but the whole point of me coming out there, because we still had to pay for a hotel, we still had to pay for food, gas, on top of all the gear and stuff that I already own. It was still an expensive trip. My wife came out with me to be my B-cam, and so it was a really expensive trip still, even though spectator tickets that they gave me were free, right? What I wanted to do when I was there was, work with their media crew and kind of collab and get to know people and talk and stuff like that, and to be kind of worth my time and my wife's time especially. I wanted to network, and the only real opportunity I got to network with one of their guys was cut really short. I mean, maybe we were in 30 seconds, maybe a minute into our just kind of chatting and talking about gear and stuff, and head of their clean culture group ran up and he's like, "Hey, you guys can talk on Instagram, we got filming to do," and grabbed him and they took off. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm filming too, but the whole point of this was to network. I can come out here and pay for all of this myself if this was something I wanted to do, right? I didn't need the spectator tickets, and so I don't really have any beef with them. But to really long answer your question, I think that's kind of where you're getting at. I haven't really been looking into the clean culture events in a little while. Again, I'm not beefing with them or anything. It's just that was kind of what happened, and it kind of left a stale taste in my mouth. Like, I can pay for tickets. The whole point of being out here was to network and film and have you guys share my video because I'm sharing your event, and we could help you help me, right? And none of that happened. So that's kind of where I'm at on clean culture. If I'm gonna do it, I would probably be bitching about it. The next question you asked me, you and the Pink Civic should collab together for pictures. 100%. That would be sick. The only time that we've ever had pictures taken together was at the Chemical Guys Cars and Coffee, and it was kind of by accident. I was pulling in, you were pulling in, and you're like, "Hey, come park over here," and we did it, and it looked great, and actually multiple people asked for pictures and stuff. Now the next month, got asked to post up front at the event, so we got to get the two in the pink back together. What you think of the Pink Civic? I love it. I also love that your static suspension, because, don't get me wrong, bags are sick, right? But it takes a certain kind of psycho to run static suspension, especially as low as you. So mad respect. I love it, and I love your new wheels. So I actually really like your build. I got asked, what is the worst, best car out there? What is the worst, best car out there? I'm gonna have to say probably the R34 GTR. Personally, I don't think it looks all that great. I think the R33 looks better, and I think the R32 is probably the best looking GTR. So, I don't know. The R34, I think it's really overhyped. I think it's an amazing car, and it looks beautiful. And I am excited to start seeing that stateside, but also for the price, I mean, $100,000 for a GTR? Nah, I think Fast and Furious just overhyped the GTRs, and that's kind of just my hot take on there, but I don't know. I think it's a really nice looking car, but personally the R32 looks way better, and I don't know. That's my hot take, I guess. Alright, I got asked, why Euro cars over anything else? I I actually kind of tell myself this a lot because I'll look at this and I'm like, man, this car doesn't look very cool. Like, it's taken a lot of work to get this Golf looking sporty and aggressive. And so compared to like JDM cars, like you could hop in an STI that looks so much more aggressive, sounds meaner, but this gets the same performance. And so why this? Honestly, because it has the luxuries of a Euro car. And it sounds kind of corny, but it's got, the heated leather seats, and it's with the bolstering in them too. My STI didn't have the bolstering in the seats, and this is like race car status bolstering. It's got the D-shaped wheel on there that looks super sporty, but at the same time, it's got driver and passenger AC and heating, so my wife can have the AC blasting in the middle of winter while I have my heater on my side. It's got like the luxuries that you would expect out of like a Mercedes-Benz or an Audi, but it still has the performance of an Evo or an STI or an RS Focus, so like I think that's kind of why I've become a sucker for the Euro cars. I didn't used to be. I was a JDM guy through and through, and I still am. I've got the Miata, but I don't know. The Euro cars, they just have something about them that's just super, super mega comfortable, and they have all the amenities, but they still perform like a sports car. I don't know. I guess that's my very long answer. That's why I've stuck with them. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Honestly, I love Texas, but probably not Texas. I have an issue with looking more like narrow visioned. I have this super extravagant plan. I want to have a barn dominium home and 15 different cars and lifts and a super successful channel and brand and all this stuff. But to look a little bit smaller, I don't know, like in 5 years. Well, in 5 years, this will be paid off. So I'd probably be driving another newer car. We'll probably be living somewhere more up north to get us out of this crazy humid heat, because this isn't very fun. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully the channel is taking care of itself and at least funding the cars. Even if I'm still working a 9 to 5, as long as the channel is kind of covering some of the cost of parts and stuff like that, that'd be great. But I don't know. I want to slow down a little bit on life and enjoy things a little more. So I think that's pretty conservative. Hopefully living somewhere up north, cooler weather, pay this off, and be driving another new car, add something to the garage. But I don't know. Besides that, I guess that's it. Yeah. Hey, it's Mark6350Z. I know, I can see your name on there. And I think you should get a Z. I absolutely think I should get a Z. My wife has not wanted me to get one for a long time because of how tiny they are. Same with the Camaro. I really like Camaros, and I like how much of a tank it feels like how tiny the windshield is, and you have like the non-existent side windows, little quarter windows that are like an 8 windows. But the Z, for whatever reason, it feels so raw to me. Like it's like one of the truest JDM cars you can get, as far as just like amenities and power, and I don't know, it looks amazing. So I 100% want a Z. I've been looking at 370Zs for a few years now. Every now and then I'll pop on the marketplace or kind of see what's selling, but man, they really don't drop in price. So we'll see. Maybe, like I said, this is paid off in a couple of years, and maybe we'll look. I've already got the 4-door, and now I've got a super mini micro 2-door, so kind of something in between would be a Z. Yeah, great question. He actually asked me a couple questions. What color are you wrapping the Golf next? So I don't know what color I'm wrapping it next. I know what color I'm wrapping it last, though, and that's like a forest green. I am a sucker for forest green, kind of like this extension cord, but I want to do it like a gloss. yeah, like I said, I'm a sucker for that, and I think on this car it would look amazing. So yeah, next color I don't know. If it's that one, I don't know, but last color for sure is going to be a forest green. Why did you get a Golf R? So that's a bit of a long story. I feel like it deserves to be told as it happens. So, long story short, I had my blue. It was also a 2013 WRX STI, and I was out one night picking up. It's so dumb. It's like a meme. I was literally out. It was like 2 a.m. at this point, and I went to go get McDonald's. I was literally on the way to get chicken nuggies, and the gas light was already on my way to work that night. So then I came home, and obviously I was like empty. And so when I hopped in the car to go get us food, I was like, damn it. Like, all right, well, there's a gas station on the corner of here. I'll just go get gas on my way to get nuggies. And so on my way to get gas, again, this is kind of a long story, but it's like a full series of events, and they deserve to be told in order because of how dumb this all is. So I plot out my route to go hit a gas station, and then hit a McDonald's, and then I'll be back home just to make one giant loop. The first gas station that I get to is just like riddled with these like thugs on bikes, and I hate to say it like that, but they were literally just like on those little tiny little BMX bikes, just like doing circles around this gas station. And again, keep in mind it's 2 a.m. by myself in the car. I'm like, nope, not doing this. So I leave that gas station and I alter my course, my planned route. I alter it so that I can go hit a different gas station that I know is like a little bit less sketchy, and that was my mistake. So I'm driving down this frontage road, and the light above me, as I'm coming up to the light, turns yellow. And you know how it is. It turns yellow, that means caution. So you can still, if you're in the intersection, you can continue to go through this light. So I'm continuing to go through the light as it's hitting yellow. As I'm in the intersection, and this is all happening like in a split second, I look over, and this guy in this like super old Buick, like those steel body Buick cars, just isn't stopping, coming the other direction through the intersection. And again, all of this happens in a split second, but I look up, I remembered so distinctly, I look up at the yellow light, and then I look over, and he's on top of me already. Boom! T-bones me in my STI, spins my car, and I remember saying, oh, fuck, out loud as I'm gripping the steering wheel. I spin 180, I go through the intersection, hit the curb, kind of like on the corner of the intersection on the opposite side, bounce off of that, and I continue to slide for another 40 feet before the car finally stops. After all was said and done, it was this little kid, he was like 16, and he had these 3 girls in the car with him, and they're all like, it looked like it was prom night or something. They're all like done up in these nice clothes and everything, and clearly the kid was distracted. He had distractions in his car and wasn't paying attention, and ran his red to T-bone me in the middle of the intersection. Even if his light was green, he had so much momentum moving that he would have been hitting the intersection as it was still red. There's no way that it would have already been green. And even if it flipped just like that, like instantly went from red to green, there's no way he would have had enough momentum to spin me and slide me. Which is why I vouch for dash cams. That's why I have it on my car now, because it just seems to be my luck. I had bought an extended warranty on the STI from the dealership I bought it at. So I went into the dealership, talked to the super unfriendly lady about getting that refunded, walked out to the parking lot, and I found the guy who sold me my STI in the parking lot. So I started talking with him, I told him what happened, and he's like, well, I mean, you got the paperwork, do you want to just take a lap through the parking lot? We can see if we can find you, a replacement for your car. And I was like, whatever, sure, we'll take a look. And so immediately after we crossed the first row of cars, I see this Golf, and I thought it was a GTI. And so we start walking through the parking lot, and we get a little bit closer, and I was like, oh shit, that's an R. We go a little closer, and it already had APR intake and tips on it, and it had lowering springs. So those three things were already done on the car when I bought it. And I saw it, we took it for a test drive, and I was in love with it. As soon as we made the loop for the test drive, I knew I had to have it. It drove so good. And so we went home, and my wife and I talked about it, and we went back later that day and we bought it. Funny how life works, eh? But yeah, that's how I ended up with this car. By accident. And then the very last question, bags or coilovers? I'm a little bit biased, right? For $1,100, I got this like dream stance on my car here. I've always wanted a slammed car, and I've been really, really impressed with the BC Racing coilovers. They're not noisy, they ride really well considering that I'm super tucked in the rears. So I do believe that coilovers are the best option if you don't have a lot of money. I kind of think that it's like a linear thing. You start out with your base model suspension. Maybe the next level would be like lowering springs, and then the next level after that would be the coilovers, and then the top level would be air suspension. And you know, certain people have different finances and different builds that they're going for and stuff like that. So I don't really daily drive this as much anymore. And this is also my show car. So the appearance of it is a little bit more important to me than the ride. And so for me, coilovers work perfectly. I got them for a pretty good price, and they've done me exactly what I wanted to do. So for me, they're better. But that's kind of my answer for that. I don't think it's one is better than the other. I think they have their pros and cons. Just like air suspension, you can get a better ride quality, but you've got more maintenance with it. You've got to purge the system. You got your humidity, and then there's more components there that could possibly fail due to bad installation and whatnot, right? And then the cost difference. Whereas this, you're locked in at a ride height, but you don't have to worry about as many components. So there's give and take, pros and cons. That's kind of my unanswered answer. But I think bags are maybe like your end goal, but you don't always have to just go straight to bags. Coilovers are great. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is a much longer video, so if you guys make it to the very end, comment the 2 exclamation point emoji down in the comments. Let me know that you guys watched the whole video. This was really fun to make. I got to interact with you guys. Thank you for the couple of you that left multiple comments, otherwise this would have been a very short video. But I think I'm going to do some other stuff. Maybe ask you guys more questions that I can read off. Maybe like a Confess the Bear style thing. Give you guys the chance to get stuff off your chest, and I'll read it for you. But yeah, I think that'll be fun. But let me know down in the comments. Comment the 2 exclamation points if you made it till the very end. Drink water and be safe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.